as a person in long-term recovery who used drugs, I started drinking at the age of 12, 13, all the way into my 30s. You can imagine, in addition to, my long history of drug and alcohol addiction, I also had a lot of toxic relationships within that also. A lot of the relationships were drug induced, right? Alcohol induced. That was the only common thing that we had, the only thing that made us compatible, And now in recovery, when I first got clean, the alcohol was gone, the drugs were gone, and now I was stuck with me. And I had no idea who I was, what I wanted. And I had this expectation that my life was just going to transform into something miraculous, which not using drugs is a true miracle. But there's so much work that has to be done. And my pathway to recovery was through the 12-step model, right? Most of you know AA, NA. That was my pathway, sponsorship, that whole thing. And it truly, truly saved my life. Now I'm in a position or in a place in my life where I've kind of outgrown that model, right? I wanted more. I wanted to learn about other cultures. I wanted to learn about true healing. I wanted to learn about how to release those things. And granted, those 12-step programs offer those things, but I personally felt like I needed something on a deeper level. And so that's why I'm here, right? Because there's a lot of us that need more. Those traditional methods don't always work. It's not a one size fits all, or we outgrow them, like I said. So here I am in Costa Rica, access to the beach every day, able to pray, able to meditate. Like, that wasn't something that I could do before. My brain would not shut up. And some days it still doesn't, right? This is a journey. It's not, there's no end. The end is when I'm no longer on this side. And so it's constantly learning and growing and, journaling, meditating, praying. And that is where my freedom comes from. Being able to be in my own skin, being able to be still, right? Not trying to outrun myself. Like I said, those things that I post about, these are all my lived experiences, and I make jokes about them, but they're absolutely true. I've been there, and I know that, a lot of us have gone through different levels of trauma, and everyone's trauma is exactly that, right? I can't gauge how someone else is affected the same way people can't gauge how certain things in my life have affected me. It's personal. It's very personal. And with me, when I got into recovery a couple of years down the road, I started a recovery program for women. And it was really to provide that safe space, right? Really to provide that judgment-free zone, really to have a place where women could just be themselves, good, bad, indifferent, say what they need to say, cry, kick, scream, stomp, whatever, right? It was just a place to be totally free. And sometimes that's the only thing we know how to do, right? Kick, scream, frustrated. It's all a process. And so I want to invite you to follow me. I want to invite you to come to Costa Rica. Recovery without borders. Recovery without borders is just that. Come and recover. We don't have to stay in a geographical area, because we're clean and it's safe and, this is what you've always done. It's okay to do something different. And that's across any platform, right? It doesn't just have to be recovery. Like, we have the freedom to choose. We have the freedom to choose what works best for us. So I just wanted to put that information out there because it's super duper important that we know that there is a community, as women, as people, as a collective. Like, we are supposed to encourage each other, right? There's unity in the community. If there's no unity, the community falls. And a lot of what we're going through as a society is a direct result of all the separation within society and communities. And you have all these different clusters of people, sub-societies is what I call them, societies within a society. And it really shouldn't be that way. Nature is a really big thing for me. I love being outside. I love being by the water. And it shouldn't be a dream. It shouldn't be when you're able to retire and go and travel. Like, we shouldn't have to put, timelines on when we're able to do certain things. We can create the life that we want. And for me personally, like when I stopped using drugs and I started working on me and I started healing in the areas that needed healing, so many doors opened for me. And now there are no limitations except for the ones that I put on myself. So we are no limit soldiers. You know, there are no limits. We do what we need to do. And it's funny because I used to say that shit in my addiction, right? I'm a no limit soldier. Like, no limit to how much I could use, no limit to how much I would drink. And now the narrative has changed. Yes, I'm a no limit soldier, but there's no limits to where the Most High can take me. And I'm truly, truly grateful for that. So if what I'm saying resonates with you, please like, subscribe, follow me, because it's important to me. So with that, just something to think about.